Yep, we got another one here, ladies and gents. We got another one. It's Harrison Ford. He's going mad. He's got TDS. He's going mad. He blasts Trump. In being charitable, it is an unhinged meltdown. I mean, he speaks utter drivel. Demonstrably. We'll go through it and have a look. I mean, it's just nonsense. I don't know of a greater criminal in history. Mate, come on now. You've tried to impeach this guy how many times? Greater criminal in history. He's probably had the most scrutiny of any president ever. I mean, look. I'm in the UK, so I can't be like, oh, I'm a Trump voter. Like, I'm not. I can't really be a Trump supporter. I'm in the UK. But just looking statistically, if he's one of the most impeached presidents of all time, he has had the most scrutiny over him than any other president, and you still couldn't find anything to get him on. I mean, you're kind of talking nonsense then, aren't you, really? I mean, it's just so pathetic. And also, at the end of the day, people don't want to hear this from their actors. Social media and these kind of interviews have destroyed the movie star. Not that it matters for Harrison Ford, because he's made his money, but it's just nonsense. No one wants this crap. Also, Harrison, mate, did you not know that he won by quite a big margin? So a lot of people like him. Anyway, let's take a look. This is nonsense, like actual nonsense. So basically, he gave an interview, right? The interview with The Guardian. Now, The Guardian is a notorious left-wing shitrag. But it is absolute trash. So he said this. Utter nonsense. Trump doesn't have any policies. He has whims. Maybe. His whim is to put America first. Which if you're an American, that's good for you. I wish my politicians would put England first. The UK first. I'm sick of my politicians putting the third world first. And other nations. I'm sick of that, actually. I shouldn't be paying tax to facilitate the third world. I just shouldn't. Any leader of a nation, their first priority is its citizens. So anyone that is doing that gets a round of applause in my books. Any leader that works to the betterment of others, first and foremost over its own citizens, you're a scumbag. Anyway, it scares the S out of me. The ignorance, the hubris, the lies, the perfidy. Trump knows better, but he's an instrument of the status quo. What status quo? Flood your country with random foreigners? Is that the status quo? He's not an instrument of that, is he? In fact, if he was an instrument of the status quo, you wouldn't be ripping him apart. You idiot. You absolute idiot. And he's making money hand over fist while the world goes to hell in a handbasket. So he's not part of the status quo then, is he? Otherwise, you'd love him. Because the status quo is globo homo shito. Right? I've said it before. That is just globo homo shito. That is the status quo. Right? Globalist nonsense. Rather than nationalist. Right? Every country should be working at the behest of its citizens to better their lives. Not the lives of random foreigners. You don't pay tax for it to better random foreigners. That's what charity is for. And you opt in to that. But now apparently the Western world is literally a charity for everyone else. Anyway, he says it's unbelievable. I don't know of a greater criminal in history. Whoa. Again, I've covered that. That's just nonsense. Maybe Weinstein. Maybe. Maybe anyone that's gone to prison. Maybe. There's so many people that are greater criminal. Al Capone, maybe. I mean, fucking hell. You don't have much of a imagination or a breadth of historical knowledge if you're like, Trump, he's the biggest criminal in history. I mean, Adolf Hitler. I mean, I'm pretty certain he'd go down as a war criminal, would he not? No? Harrison, me old mucker? You fudge that one, son. This. Everything we've said about climate change has come true. Has it? Actually, it hasn't. Because you guys have been banging on about climate change for years. Decades, actually. Decades. Decades. It's been going on for decades. In fact, decades ago, decades upon decades ago, next year, the ice caps were going to melt and everyone was going to die. Oh, and a fact I love to bring up whenever we talk about stuff like this. Do you know who invented the carbon footprint? Do you remember? Everyone's got all this. It was a big thing. It still is. What's your carbon footprint? Reduce your carbon footprint. Do you know who invented that? Do you know? It's BP after their oil spill. Look it up. Not a lie. Look it up. Mental, isn't it, really? When you start to realise, actually, it might all just be a grift. And I say that because if you wanted clean power, you'd go nuclear, right? Or, in the case of combustion engines, you would pay Porsche for their e-fuel that they have. Fully carbon neutral fuel that burns in normal combustion engines. You wouldn't be facilitating China's economic rise, would you? You spazoids. Anyway, whatever. Why is it not sufficient that it alarms people that they change behaviours because of the entrenched status quo? The status quo is the push for green. That is the status quo. I don't think you understand what the status quo means, Harrison, me old chum. So he said he's losing ground because everything he says is a lie. Is it? Is it? Maybe. I don't think so, but okay. Honestly, this guy could quite literally birth Jesus Christ and people would still hate him. So bizarre. Hate someone that's actually done something bad for the world. That started a war, maybe. I don't know, maybe do that. Like, is your energy not better spent hating someone that's like actually evil? Rather than someone's just like, I would like Americans to, you know, be prioritised. So Ford eventually pivoted to a message of hope saying, I'm confident we can mitigate against climate change. Are you an advocate for nuclear energy then? Yeah. Because windmills, wind turbines, right? They need oil to be lubricated. So that's not clean. They often combust brutally actually. They do go up in flames. Or they kill lots of wildlife, which is, you know, really bad, obviously. Quite rare eagles. And also the turbines can't be recycled. Did you know that? Look it up. So, solar. Solar typically, the big panels, typically they can't be recycled either. Lithium mines, probably look that up as well. They're pretty mental. Yeah. I also don't think plastering the countryside in solar farms to save the countryside is a smart thing. I actually think that's a I actually think that is a false economy. Anyway, so you'll be advocating for nuclear energy, right, Harrison? No? Oh, okay. You're full of shit then. That we can buy time to change behaviours, to create new technologies, to concentrate more fully on implementation of those policies. You know, if carbon actually raised, like CO2 actually raised, you know what? You know how like good that would be for certain parts of the world. Like Africa would actually become wet. Look it up. Anyway, but we have to develop the political will and intellectual sophistication to realise that we human beings are capable of change. We all know that, you idiot. Why aren't you capable of change? We're incredibly adaptive. We're incredibly inventive. If we concentrate on a problem, we can fix it most times. And I agree, actually. We should probably be on Mars right now, but we spent a good few decades now, I think, maybe, at the very least a decade, arguing over what a woman is. So, and that was presumably your party, Harrison. So, whilst I agree with you, we are inventive, we can do great things. maybe look inwards a little bit on that.